Okay, so that's all of his SCVs, I think. 96 SCVs. Alright, so that'd be 99. Yeah, that's my main complaint. Stop building so many SCVs. Alright, now he's getting some Thors out. So, Thors, they're okay against Hydras. You generally want to have, of course, that tank support. He doesn't have too many tanks. He has 3 tanks here. Okay, he has a few here. Hellions are also nice against Hydras, you know, as a supplementary force, as an aid, not as the main force. Thors are okay, though. Still keeping up with those Marines. Again, upgrades would be very, very nice. He can afford so much here, and so many SCVs just sitting there. Okay, what else? That's most of it, really. This Viking force is nice. It would be nice if he continued up production there, but he is a little low on supply. I mean, low on free supply. You can actually A-move in with like half of these guys into this main and take it out, no problem. Yeah, see, he's forced to kill off his own SCVs here because he just has too many. He has too much of his supply. If you're ever in this situation, just run your SCVs into your opponent's bases. That way you get some sort of scout. Well, looks like these Thors are going to die. That way you get some sort of scout, and when you have this many workers, you'll probably kill a building or two. So he could easily take down the Spine Crawler, take down that Queen, take down probably that Evo Shiver and that spawning pool. Maybe even a little bit more. That position is fine. This tank is a little far back. These tanks are not even sieged up. I think this is actually pretty much it. Those are my main complaints. So, 1. Going super overboard on SCVs. If you have more than 3 pages, things are probably not right. And he does a fine job here. Those Vikings tear the mutas apart. The Thors and the SCVs, well, the SCVs actually tank the damage from the Hydras, and the Thors are able to clean up. So, yeah. I mean, just look at this. He's down to 43 SCVs already, so yeah, they all died pretty quickly. He still has a ton in the bank. Yeah, cleaning up that Hydra force, and then he just goes on to win the game here. I think he just A-moves in with those Thors. So, the main complaint I had, first and foremost, these SCVs, stop building them once you reach, like, 70. Even, I mean, most of the time I don't get past 60, but still, 60 is a nice number, 70 is kind of high. If you got, like, 3, 4 bases, 5 bases, sure, you can go a little bit past that, as long as your production facilities are being used at pretty much all time, and you just continue with that macro. Second thing is the upgrades that he does not have. He got 1 upgrade the entire game, not including the Orbital Command, the Planetary Fortress. He has 1 armory. Is that it? I thought I saw a second one. Nope, looks like it's just the 1. But if you have a whole bunch of money in the bank, you might as well just throw down 2 or 3. Well, not 2 or 3, but I mean, at least start upgrading with one of them, the one that you have. Let's see, what else? This unit composition, pretty good. Again, tanks and Vikings, they work very solidly together. There aren't many unit combinations that work better than it, so tank and Viking, very viable. Again, those upgrades would be nice on both of them. So even tank, Viking, Marine, and Thor, so the Thors and the Vikings just annihilate any Zerg air that comes your way. If there's too many mutas, the Thors will clean up. If there's Broodlords, the Vikings slaughter them, and yeah, Corruptors die to both. But Marines seemed a little unnecessary, I think. Well, he didn't have the Thors out, so the Marines are completely justifiable. So Marines are actually a pretty good supplement to your army when you don't have Thors. So this actually sounds kind of strange because it's the strongest ground unit and the weakest ground unit for Terran, but they're pretty interchangeable. If you've got enough barracks, yeah, 3 barracks is enough. So if you have like 6 Marines to help out, well, not 6, but you want to have a few Marines with your Thor Viking force, because the Vikings are they're pretty solid against air, but occasionally you're going to lose your Vikings. You're going to run into a group that's just too large for your Vikings to handle, and then your tanks get helpless, and then you lose everything. But Marines do a very nice job of helping out the Vikings there, and they also provide a lot more steady damage. So the tanks work in bursts of damage, high bursts of damage each siege shot, siege volley, but then the Marines fire a lot quicker. So that's just something that nicely complements the army of tanks and Vikings. So the Marines were a good idea, but he should have been... These upgrades, just again, this is the major thing. Oh, he also got the siege upgrade. So, this combat shield, that stim, would have been nice additions. This is okay. 2-1 would have been nice. 3-3 would have been better. He had more than enough time, more than enough resources to get 3-3. Well, maybe not 3-3, but at least 2-1 on these mech units. Maybe 2-1 as well on the Vikings, and he could have put down another few armies, so he could have guaranteed 3-3. But those are my major complaints. So just going through those again really fast. SCV count way too high. Stop at 70 unless you're on 4, 5, 6 bases, whatever. Unless you're on some absurd amount of bases. And I think that energy was a little high too. Yeah, the energy pretty close, or pretty high up there. Okay, let's see. Second thing was upgrades, lack of upgrades. So I think there were 3 upgrades done in this game. The siege mode, the +1 for the Marines, and the what else? I think I was going to say Orbital Command, but the Planetary Fortress also counts. Anyway, upgrades, lack of them. So these guys would be a lot more potent if they had 3-3. The unit composition, very nice, very solid. I really like that unit composition. The macro could use some work. In the about 10 minutes before this game ended, he had a lot of money saved up, like 4K, and that's just a lot of units that could be out. Again, those SCVs did kind of hamper that. Just way too many SCVs there to really take advantage of all these production buildings, I guess all these factories as well. But that's just something to keep in mind. He didn't have the greatest macro. The supply depot is just a little nitpick. You could just place them around your base so you have better vision. It's kind of unlikely they'll be sniped, and even if they are, it's not too big of a loss. So that's just a little thing. I think that's just about it. The pre-igniter would have been nice, but he didn't have an overwhelming amount of Hellions. He did use them pretty well. The pre-igniter would have helped, but it wouldn't have been really game-changing. He didn't use this tech lab, so... Well, he got a few Banshees, but they didn't do anything. So, Banshees, you kind of need either mass of them, or, use them for early game with that cloak, but you don't really want to go them late game. I think Ravens would have been a better choice. So that's just about it for this one. I do have another one to do right after this. Yeah. So I hope you found that helpful if you are Terran focusing on this mech. So a lot of the reason why I felt unconfident and not being able to counterattack is because he didn't have the units, which is because he overproduced on those SCVs, and that just left him a lot of money in the bank and a lot of idle SCVs eventually. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed it. All that good stuff, really. And I will see you at the next game.